Quadratic equations. A quadratic equation is an equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, and c are constants and a not equal to 0. X is the unknown quantity, and solving a quadratic equation involves finding the values of x which satisfy the equation known as roots. There are 4 methods of solving quadratic equations. There's the factorization method, completing the square method, quadratic formula method, and the graphical method. But today we are going to look at the factorization method. So when solving the factorization method, there are certain steps one has to follow to find the value of x which is going to satisfy the equation. So the steps are: first, we have to find the product P, which is equal to A times C. Then we identify the sum S, which is B. Get the factors of f of P to give you S when added. Express S as the sum of factors F, factorize by grouping terms, and then we are going to apply the zero product rule. Let's do that. Example 1, we have solved the equation x squared plus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. Before we do that, first we have to get some data. What is our A? A is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. What is our B? Our B is the coefficient of x, which is 7. And our C is the constant, which is 12. So our A is 1, our B is 7, and our C is 12. So from there, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to find the product, which is P, where we are going to multiply 1 times 12. So let's do that. So our P is 1 times 12, which is giving us a 12. Our sum is B, which is 7. And then from here, we are supposed to find 2 integers such that when we multiply them together, they should give us the P, which is 12. And when we add them together, they should give us a 7. So which factors are those? It is 3 and 4. So when we multiply 3 times 4, we'll get a 12. But when we add 3 plus 4, we get a 7. So from here, we are going to rewrite this B using the factors 3 and 4. Let's do that. So we have x squared plus 7x plus 12. Here, where there's 7, we are going to replace a 3 plus 4. There's nothing that we are going to change except B will be expressed as a sum. So let's do that. So we have x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12 equal to 0. And then from there, we are going to factorize by grouping. So we are going to factorize x squared plus 3x, and then we'll factorize 4x plus 12. Let's do that. So which common factor do we have between x squared and 3x? X. What is our common factor between 4x and 12? 4. We are going to remain with a common factor, which is x plus 3. From there, we will group x plus 4, which is going to give us x plus 3. Our common factor will be picked once, not twice. And then what we have grouped, we have x plus 4 equal to 0. From here, we are going to use the zero product rule, where we are going to say x plus 3 equal to 0, and then x plus 4 should be equal to 0. Let's do that. So from here, when we transpose this positive 3, take it to the right, it will become a negative 3. Transpose this positive 4, take it to the right, it will become a negative 4. Therefore, the value is x equal to negative 3, or x is equals to negative 4. So those are our values. When we replace them in that equation, quadratic equation, they are going to give us a 0. We continue. We have question B, which is saying P squared plus P minus 6 equal to 0. The first thing we are going to get is our data. Our coefficient of P squared is 1, coefficient of P is 1, and our constant is a negative 6. So from here, the first step is to find the product, which is 1 times negative 6. So our P should be equals to negative 6. What is our sum? Our sum is 1, which is our B there. Then we are supposed to get the factors. Get two integers such that when we multiply them together, they should give us a -6, but when we add them, they should give us a +1, which is 3 and -2. From here, what are we supposed to do? We'll express this p as a sum using those two factors. Let's do that. So we have p squared plus 3p minus 2p minus 6 equal to 0. 3p minus 2p is the same as just that 1p. From here, we are going to factorize by grouping terms. So what is common between p squared and +3p? P. What will remain? P plus 3. What is common between -2p and -6? -2. What am I supposed to multiply with this -2 to give me -2p? P. -2 times +3 will give us a -6. Our common factor is p plus 3. What has remained? P minus 2. We are going to group that. From there, we'll pick one common factor, group what has remained, equal to 0. From there, what are we supposed to do? We are going to use the zero product rule. So our p plus 3 should be equal to 0, or our p minus 2 should be equal to 0. We'll transpose that. Our answer will look like that. So those two integers, when replaced in that quadratic equation, will give us a 0. We continue. We have question C, which is saying 2m squared minus 11m plus 5 equal to 0. We'll get our data. What is our A? Our A is 2. What is our B? Our B is -11. What is our constant C? Our constant C is 5. Our product is 2 times 5, which is our A times C, giving us a 10. Our B, which is the sum, is -11. And our factors are -1 and -10. So 2m squared minus 11m plus 5 equal to 0. Here, where our B is, we are going to express it as a sum by replacing it with -1 and the -10. So when we multiply -1 times a -10, we are getting a +10, but when we add them, we are getting a -11. So we'll replace that -11 using -1 and -10. So from here, what are we going to do? Factorize by grouping terms. Our common factor is m. Our common factor between -10m and 5 is a -5. What will remain here? 2m minus 1, which is our common factor. Group what has remained. That should be equal to 0. And then we are going to equate 2m minus 1 to 0 and m minus 5 to 0 to find the value of m. We'll transpose that -1 to the right to become a positive. Our m will be equal to half, or our m will be equals to 5. We continue. We have 16x squared minus 8x minus 3. What is our A? Our A is 16. Our B is -8. And our C is -3. So from there, what are we supposed to do? We'll multiply 16 times a -3, which will give us a -48. From here, we should be able to identify our sum, which is -8. And then we'll get the factors. Which two integers are we supposed to multiply together to give us a -48? But when we add them, we'll get a -8. It is -12 and 4. So from here, we are going to express that B as a sum. So we are getting 16x squared minus 12x plus 4x minus 3. That -12x plus 4x is the same as just that -8x. So from here, what are we going to do? We'll factorize. What is common between 16 and 12? 4. What is common between x squared and x? X. So our common factor here is 4x. What am I supposed to multiply with that 4x to get 16x squared? 4x. What am I supposed to multiply with that 4x to get a -12x? -3. Plus, what is common between 4x and -3? A +1. What will remain? 4x minus 3, which is our common factor. And then we'll group 4x plus 1. Equate them to 0. From here, solve for x. 4x plus 1 equal to 0. We'll transpose this +1, it will become a -1. Transpose that -3, it will become a +3. divide both sides by 4, which is the coefficient. Our x will be equals to 1 over 4, or our x is equal to 3 over 4. As simple as that.